Today we're going to talk about a controversial brewing method. Why is it controversial? Well, it claims to be one of, if not the best ways to make filter coffee, and there's a lot of pseudoscience backing it up. I'm of course referring to the Osmotic Flow Technique, and today we're going to explore what it is, what it gets wrong, what it gets right, and whether it can actually make good filter coffee. So what is Osmotic Flow? Osmotic Flow is a Japanese filter brewing technique that was conceptualized around the mid-20th century during the boom of Japanese kiseten, which is a kind of Japanese coffee shop that's basically exclusive to Japan. It's very different to other coffee shops around the world in the way that it's pretty formal and it's kind of done like a cocktail bar. You rock up, you ask for a coffee, and you're not just given a batch brew or anything like that. They give you a full performance. They make the coffee right there at the bar and they involve you in the process. Now, during the time, basically all of Japan's coffee imports came from Indonesia. And these Indonesian coffees were very low in acidity, basically no acidity. And they had a lot of sort of spiced, nutty flavors. These Japanese coffee masters would often age this green coffee in specialized wooden boxes or jute bags to further reduce the acidity of the coffee. And then they would roast it pretty dark to remove even more of that acidity. So you've got this low acidity coffee, it's been aged and it's been roasted until it's pitch black. And it tastes of wood, spices, and roasted nuts. So it's no wonder that people found this coffee very bitter and very harsh because it was very easy to extract. Now, how these Japanese coffee masters figured out and devised the following technique, I don't know. They devised a technique. The technique was by pouring intentionally and very slowly in the center of the ground coffee, leaving the rest of the bed untouched by the water. The ground coffee on the outside that was dry would form the foundation for a stable dome-like structure. So the gas would release from the coffee grounds and it would create this dome effect. And by pouring the coffee this way, leaving the other coffee grounds completely dry on purpose and using zero agitation, it created a brew that was sweet, that had thick body and didn't taste like ash. Now, Kafek explains that the outside of the coffee grounds, the dry dome, acts as a filter of a kind. So the water comes through the top, it diffuses through the coffee grounds, as they explain it, taking the deliciousness of the coffee with it and dispersing out the bitter compounds on the outside. It goes through the bottom through a straight line and it comes out tasting good. That's my understanding of it, but you can understand where the pseudoscience and distrust of this brewing method comes from. Now, going back to Japanese kiseten and how this brewing method is put into practice, it's usually done with zero scales. It's all done by eye and by feel. And these techniques are passed through the generations. So it varies from shop to shop. They use what looks like a pretty tight ratio. They put about, 20 grams of coffee into a paper filter or a cloth, and then they pour that coffee over a single cup. Looks like about 150, 200 milliliters. And then they just do that by eye. They pour some water, let the dome blow up, and then they stop and let it sink down a bit, and then they pour some more water, it goes back up again, and it's just this constant up and down. Today I'm going to be using 15 grams of ground coffee, pretty coarse ground coffee, and then 240 grams of water at around 82 to 85 degrees Celsius, so it's pretty cool. 30 gram bloom, 40 to 45 seconds, and then continuously do pulses of water until you get up to the end brew weight. And we'll go brew that now. Okay, so starting off with our coffee, I have roasted an Indonesian Sumatra, and pretty darkly as well. That's what it looks like. 15 grams of this. Now for grind size, it's gonna be pretty coarse. You want it sort of like a coarse sea salt grind. So we're using, on the wheel for Savart here, one step before the filter grind size. I'll put a picture up so you can see, and we'll grind this. So as you can see here, it's pretty coarse, like a coarse sea salt texture. That's sort of what you want. I'm gonna start my kettle now. So I'm going to be using 85 degrees Celsius water. While that heats up, I'm gonna grab my paper filter, and we're not going to rinse the paper filter out. It's common not to in Japan. Coffee goes straight in, and you just wanna level it out. Tear off our scales. 30 grams of water and wait 40 seconds, so 40-second bloom. So you go straight in the center, very slowly. So that's 30 grams. You can see it's starting to expand. The gases are releasing from the coffee. And we're just gonna pour, reading the bed as we do it, because we don't want to get the outside wet. If we get the outside wet, the dome will collapse. It's quite a delicate brew method, so you need to focus when you're doing this. So we're up to 150, so we're right on the money with the timing. And we're just gonna keep going until we reach that 240 gram end weight. And we want to get there around about 2 minutes 15, which we're approaching now. Now we're just gonna let it draw down completely. I don't know if you can see on camera, but the grounds are slightly wet on the outside, so I didn't keep the grounds completely dry, but it still formed a dome. There we go. And that is the resulting brew. Let's decant some and have a quick taste here. Okay. Yeah, it tastes exactly how I would expect it to. Literally zero acidity. There is some sweetness in there. It's got that dark roast toastiness, but without it being overpowering. I'm also tasting pecans in there as well, but that's basically all there is to it. Now, the important question, is this a good cup of coffee? It's definitely a very toasty, I guess you could describe it as hearty coffee. If you're a dark roast purist and you're the kind of person that doesn't like overly sweet or acidic coffees, then you would love this. So overall, it tastes good, but by modern standards, this is a pretty bad cup of coffee. It's not exactly balanced because it's lacking the other flavors and sweetness in there, but it's its own unique thing. And if that's the kind of thing that you like, then there's nothing wrong with that. You can appreciate this coffee for what it is. I mean, the biggest reason why this is a bad cup of coffee is because of the coffee that's used, the kind of coffee that you use and the quality of the coffee you use massively. I mean, it doesn't matter how you brew it, it's going to taste bad if the coffee's bad. This coffee that I'm using is a very good representation of the kind of coffee that these Japanese coffee masters would have had. It's not a particularly high grade coffee, it's just about specialty. When I was looking through the green beans, there were lots of defects in it. I did take the time to take those out before I roasted it. But the fact is, if you're brewing with a bad coffee, it doesn't matter how you're brewing your coffee, it's going to taste bad regardless. This is a lot more forgiving on the gut. I've noticed less discomfort compared to drinking lighter roast coffees, more acidic coffees. And so if you're someone that struggles with an irritable gut, then I think you should try brewing with a low acidity coffee, because I've definitely noticed an improvement. So this coffee is a bit of a mixed bag. It depends on what you want from your coffee brewing and drinking experience. If you like the ritual of brewing coffee in this manner and the coffee that it produces, then there is no fault in that. I think people forget that brewing and drinking coffee is more than just hitting the perfect extraction or maximizing flavor. At the end of the day, it's all about enjoying the cup of coffee. And that's my take on the Osmotic Flow. That's my advice. Have you tried this brewing method before? Let me know in the comments what you thought about it and whether you'd brew it again. If you want to learn more from me, learn a new skill, or help troubleshoot a problem that you've got, then I am doing one-on-one online video calls. I'll pop a link down in the description. If you want to support me and this channel, then you can do so at Buy Me a Coffee. I'll put a link to that as well. And finally, if you liked this video and want to see similar content in the future, subscribe, turn on notifications, give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next one.